Guten Morgen, welcome, willkommen, my sweet dear magical friends, to your weekly horoscope and taroscope with me. Okay, so we are going to be discussing this upcoming week from Monday, the 14th of November to Sunday, the 20th of November. And I am calling this week good news before the good news because that's basically it in a nutshell. Okay, as you can see, oh, that's a little bit off. Hold on, let me see if I can fix this. It's just gonna maybe, yeah, it's a little bit bothersome. Give me one moment. Oh no, that's not it. It's that one. It's that one. It's just a thing. There we go. Okay. Okay, welcome, willkommen, everybody. Okay, as you can see down below, we have the 𝙼𝚊𝚗𝚗𝚘. This is basically the block of all of the important aspects that we have coming up this week. And over here, boop, boop, we have the key. We have the planets over here. These are the sources of energy. Okay, so these are what's boom, 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 the pulsating, everything that we're under the effects of. In the middle column, we have the aspects. So when you see these symbols, look at that beautiful grand water trine. It's just popping off of the picture. How'd you guys spend Sunday evening? Or Sunday just generally as you come into the week? Sunday, November the 13th was probably a really lovely day. At least one thing was really, really lovely. So, okay. Actually, I don't think that's right now, though. Is that right now? Oh, it's how lovely. Okay, so the moon right now is at 29 degrees of Cancer. Love it. Okay, so as you are, and then over here are the signs. Goodness gracious. Yeah, over here are the signs. These are the expressions of the energies that are at play. So they will be behaving differently. These sources of energies will be behaving differently depending on, there's the moon's like right up there. That's going to change how they behave and what we can expect from them. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Monday the 14th. So on Monday the 14th, I'm calling this day, oh, I didn't put in the timestamps. Oh, let me do that. Before I do another thing, let me just have my pen immediately. One moment. Like literally like an entire box of, they were greeting cards, and I keep my beautiful pens in here. So, okay, so let me write this down. And Monday, the 14th of November, 2022, I'm calling this day the Forgiven. We have the sun in Scorpio trining over to Neptune in the sign of Pisces, retrograde, of course. And we also have Mercury at 26 degrees of Scorpio, sextiling Pluto at 26 degrees of Capricorn direct. Remember, Pluto went direct. Pluto is now direct. Everyone gird your loins. Pluto is now direct in Capricorn. Whew. Okay, so I'm calling this day the Forgiven because of that really nice, beautiful, watery, and as you can see it here, you have it's that big blue triangle right in this center of the iris here. So over here we have the sun in Scorpio, 22 degrees, trining over perfectly exact to that Neptune. So wherever these areas of your life happen to be, your water houses, maybe they are your financial houses, friendship, relational houses, maybe they are whatever happens to be, flowing positive feelings. And this is the energy of possibly forgiveness, forgiving the situation, forgiving yourself, forgiving other people, and or just some kind of loosening of hard feelings, a softening of grudges, ego gratification. If you're a Sun Neptune person, I'm a Sun Neptune person, for instance, Sun, and any kind of connection to Neptune, whether it's a sextile, a trine, a square, an opposition, whatever. If you're Sun Neptune, if they are talking, if they are having a conversation, these two sources of energy are having some kind of conversation, then ego gratification becomes something else entirely. Ego gratification comes from altruistic things and honoring your altruistic nature. So like a lot of what interests me is because of the beneficial effect it could have, you know, for other people. Like that just feels good, you know? So this right here has that about it where it'll feel good for you to forgive. It'll feel good for you to let something go. It'll feel good for you to help someone else. It'll feel good for you to use your ego in a different way. And remember, ego isn't inherently like this evil, bad thing. We need a healthy, functioning ego to operate in daily life. You know, you need to be able to pay for your purchase, take your thing up to the counter, put it down, have the teller ring you out and be able to hand them legal tender and take that business transaction and take that whatever you're buying, I don't know, a belt or something. And you know, you need to be able to do that. You can't be so overwhelmed with fear or anxiety or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So the Sun Neptune, it could be neurotic in a like an emotionally lost way. So the negative, this is not that. This is a trine, which means it is extremely beneficial. In the aspect column down, oh, that's right. I'm like, this is where you guys are right over here. This middle aspect, this middle column, the aspects, that triangle is the trine. This means that these planets are forming 120-degree relationships between each other, and that's very harmonious. You know what? Let me grab the book because I have to. This is really good. Hold on. Okay, sorry. False alarm. Bad news. I don't know where that book is. I keep all of my books. I try to be so good about it, but I just take books with me traveling, or I take books like to go to offices like dental, doctor. I just, and then sorry. So I'm a book person. I don't do like the screen, the Kindle things. It's Betty's book. Betty, anyway, so the 120-degree angle between these two sources of energy is basically very harmonious with creation energy. So the hexagonal pattern of, think of that, think of bees and honeycombs and how that hexagon is a perfect geometric shape. That's basically what you're getting with the positive aspects over here, trines and sextiles. And when you have like the hard aspects, the square opposition, they're creating disharmonic like frequencies you can think of, or disharmonic angles that are very discordant for, and it's not creation energy, it's like destruction energy. It's very like pulling apart. We're gonna talk about that later this week. This is about good news though. I'm just giving you some better background understanding. Okay, so that Sun Neptune, it's a trine, so it's very conducive to building positive things, building a positive reality for yourself, but positive feelings. So you might also feel very divinely inspired or aligned to your goals. This is what I probably like the most about Sun Neptune, is that you feel more guided by some kind of higher power. I'm not talking about like gravity. I'm talking about like just, you feel like your life has some purpose to it. You feel like your life has meaning that goes beyond the physical realm. Like, I'm not just here to, you know, live and earn a paycheck and die. You know, there's something else. I'm here to learn about humanity, or love certain people, or leave some beneficial legacy for other humans behind after I do pass away. You know, it's going to be something kind of like that. So whatever your intuition is telling you today, yes, that's today. I forgot where I was and what day I was in for that half second. I need more coffee. Okay, so wherever your intuition is leading you today, Monday, the 14th, you go with that. You'll feel good. It'll feel better. Okay. Also, we have Mercury in Scorpio, sextiling Pluto in Capricorn. This is also really good for masculine energy. So masculine energy, ego energies could feel very healed and healing right now. So it's very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. So the sextile between Mercury also in Scorpio. And guys, we got over the hardest part. So we're still in eclipse energy for this last week, but it's like we're closing things down from this, total lunar eclipse in Taurus. Things could still be very miraculous or surprising or wild or, sort of pivoting and shifting and unpredictable, but I feel like we're kind of out of the woods. Like I took a look at the world events, the past couple weeks, and it's been very, very interesting because of that surprise element. So, okay, the Mercury sextile over to Pluto, that is very much that you're able to talk about something that's sort of difficult on one hand or sort of intense, but people are not shying away from talking about it. People are not shying away from dealing with it. And this could be great for talking about things that people normally don't want to talk about, or things that normally get pushed under the rug. Or it could be a wonderful time to talk about things that you do want to talk about that are really deep and intense and transformational and have to do with maybe some great sea changes, under the surface. So whatever you're discussing or thinking about, because this could also all be taking place mentally in the mind, you could be, cracking some codes, and you could be doing very complex building in your mind of stuff with this Mercury Pluto energy. And with that Sun Neptune trine, I just feel like you believe in it. So you have the right balance today on Monday of being very accurate with your assessments and constructions of reality and what things are and how you want to change them. You may even be having very important communications today in relationship to what you are adjusting. And they're all things that you're confident in doing because of the Sun Neptune trine. Like you really believe in it, and maybe other people really believe in it, or you know what I'm saying? So it's just really, really nice to have that Mercury Pluto sextile, because then one of the negative of the Sun Neptune is that people can go messianic. They have like a messianic complex or like a martyr complex, a self-sacrificial complex, looking to throw themselves under the bus for something, looking to sacrifice, let it be me, put me in front of it, when no one's asking them to. Or there's no, that's not necessary, So that's like the dark side of it. But this is really, really great to have that Mercury Pluto balance, because it's like you won't go that far. No one will be out of touch with reality, which is so very important for Sun Neptune, because on a harder aspect, it could be very confusing or very like obfuscated. You know what I'm saying? Unless you are a little bit more conscious, a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So love it. Love the Mercury Pluto sextile. It just tells me that you're able to get to the truth of it, the heart of the matter. You're able to see things for what they really are. So you will have the benefit of that penetrating insight today on Monday. So, I'm calling it the forgiven, because, if there is any of that type of thing going on, or loosening of the grudges or the softening, that you can trust your judgment at this time, because you have the extra help. Okie dokie. Oh, it's a long time on Monday because I went looking for the book. Tuesday, the 15th of November. Talk about it. All right. Oh, it is. Oh, since it's still freaking. Oh, maybe I'll do that. Oh, that's perfect. I'm going to do that for when we change over to the days. Okay. Tuesday. Tuesday on the 15th. I'm calling this day Easy Blessings, because you have Venus at the last degree of Scorpio trining over to Jupiter in Pisces. You also have the moon now ingressed into Leo, forming a square to the nodes and also opposing Saturn. So whenever that happens, whenever the moon goes through Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, it's activating the biggest changes of life from the end of November until the spring of 2023, but then it hits one last time. There's one last eclipse in Taurus at the very end of 2023, but we'll think about that later. So on Tuesday the 15th, let's talk about the Venus Jupiter. I'm calling Tuesday easy blessings because it is. That's exactly what it is. Venus Jupiter is like an easy gimme. It's a give. So you may even be feeling that on Monday, like very optimistic and full of love and compassion. Like it's really, really beautiful energy. I forgot I have rice, but I will grab that at the appropriate designated alarm going off moment. Okay. The Venus trine over to Jupiter, easy benefits, easy good feelings, you know, it's easy to feel good, whatever is going on. It's just easier to be happy. That's what I say about LA. I said, when I came back to Chicago, I told my family, I'm like, it's just easy to be happy, easier to be happy in Los Angeles. It's just easier because of all the photons you guys get of extra light. Here in Chicago, it's some kind of Arctic line that goes across like the top of America and like Canada, but then it just dips below to include Chicago. It's some kind of, I don't know, polar something. So it's like, that's why we in Chicago are vitamin D deficient. We don't have enough vitamin D. So that's like a big thing. Anyway, so easy to be happy, easier to think happy thoughts. Take your blessings and give thanks is my guidance. Just be grateful. You know, like be grateful, give thanks, express gratitude to yourself, to universe, to somebody else, you know, whomever. Just show appreciation for whatever it is that you are appreciative for in your life. You know, whether it's maybe you have a great family, maybe you have whatever you have, whatever, just be happy and grateful and just like enjoy it. And remember, it's that Scorpio area of your life and the Jupiter area of your life. Because the big thing with something this easy, this is so, you don't have to try. There's some things that you just don't have to try to get, and it's the trine energy. So something's like right there for you. Something is available to you. It's an abundance of something. You don't have to try. It's right. It's in your lap, right? So what I say on these types of transits is to don't let it get away from you, because you could take it for granted. You could not appreciate it. You could think, or, you know, worse yet, you could think things will always be that way. It'll always be, you know, but that's the bubble. It's that when the bubble bursts is that it's like, no, the adjustable rates have kicked in, you know, no, it's all of that stuff. So all of that. So just be very grateful and happy. Like I said, give thanks. It's really easy. It's a great, beautiful flow. And it's also it could be potentially very imaginative, like that Venus. And I love that Venus is doing that right before they enter Sagittarius, because it's like this one, Venus is not like comfortable in Scorpio. So it could have just been feeling people have been, here's what I've seen is that, like, I knew to expect people to be more suspicious and paranoid, possessive, jealous, projecting, and like all of the lower Scorpio things since the end of October until now. I expected that, but how did that energy express itself in human form? What I saw at the physical manifestation level was just a lot of people lying. Simply enough, like a lot of lying and a lot of blatant, shameless lying, like really like right to your face, easy to disprove, very desperate lying. So, you know, I knew the energy behind it. So, you know, like I said, you got past like the worst part of this energy. So there's going to be good news this week. It could hit you as early as Monday. Honestly, there's potential for that good news to hit any day of the week, because every single day there's something that could kick it off, right? So we're kind of, like I said, coming out of that Plutonian, underworldly type, you know, suspicious and scary, fear-based energy that had to really flesh out. Okay, so all that stuff that I saw, I knew that that was needing to come up to be flushed away. So I, was able to leave space for it and like protect myself. I wasn't in any kind of danger, harm, or anything. It's for other people. I wasn't like that. It was just something I definitely observed. So, people are going through it. A lot of people are oh, and Leo, Sun, Moon, Risings, you guys are about to get such a break. So hold on for like a week and a half, and you're gonna just be like shining bright like a diamond. Okay. So where was I? Tuesday. So yeah, the Venus, the last aspect, the last connection, the last conversation they have before they sashay and boogie into Sagittarius is a very forgiving, peaceful making, trusting, benefic link to Jupiter. So it's almost like we're able to reflect on all of that. We're able to reflect on everything and get some perspective. Maybe there's even like a mentor or a tutor, or maybe you have like an acolyte, you have someone that you've been teaching and they finally understand something. As someone who's been an instructor, I've been a teacher, I'm a natural teacher, I'm a teacher now, that's just a natural part of my vibe. I can't tell you, okay, for instance, so recently, I can't tell you how good it feels when I'm teaching someone something and they get it after having hit the wall so many times, and they keep trying and they keep going and they persevere, and one day they just, it's like it just disappears. They go and it doesn't matter that they've hit the wall. They don't stop the momentum. They don't slow it down expecting to hit that wall again. They just keep going. And then one day the wall just disappears, and it's like the light bulb goes on and they just get it. And as a teacher, as an instructor, that's kind of like a very priceless moment. That's just like, and that happened not in the same way. What I'm talking about really has more to do with learning and grasping and understanding something, like learning German. It's like I would hit my head against the wall like over and over. And then one day I would just, auf den USA, natürlich, just all of a sudden get it. But I did have one of my Hierophants have this amazing breakthrough where they remembered a death experience from a past life, and they didn't know that that's what it was. And they explained this to me, this experience, and I was like, oh my God, do you know what that is? And I explained the whole, like, that's what that was, and that's what that feels like. And, so it was a massive milestone moment for this person spiritually. So that's something that it's like everyone's on their own, path and timeline. So it just happened to be that moment for them, and it was like a huge breakthrough. So, but if any of you out there are teachers or instructors, or you have acolytes, you just know that, or you're a parent. If you guys are parents, any parents out there, it's the same exact thing when you're like, oh my God, my child knows how to do this. They didn't know how to do this yesterday. It's this very rewarding experience. So there's something we're learning about love, value, artistic, aesthetic, taste that we're able to integrate into our broader understanding before we move forward, and we can kind of let go of some of the deep intensity and now we're going to be ready to have a lot more fun come Wednesday. I didn't finish yet. Okay. We also have, okay, that's like the best part. But if you guys take a look at the very center of this iris thing, see like in the very center, like there's like these little, in the very middle. And if you can see on the side, it forms a big square. That is your fixed grand, oh, I forgot the tea, and I'm out of juice. I need more juice, but I meant to have the tea today. We will have to persevere. Okay, so like I said, whenever the moon enters the fixed signs, it creates this. So what does the energy do when you're in a fixed grand cross? It doesn't really have an outlet like it does a T-square. When there's a T-square, there's a focal point that has, it's the one thing in common, not the one thing, but it's the middle point between two oppositions. So when you have let me bring this back up. I will be going back and forth. Okay, so where are we? We're still on Tuesday, goodness gracious. So when you have the square, the energy, it's like it just doesn't have anywhere to really go, so it kind of implodes. But that's okay. On Tuesday, what I mean by that is that you're at a crossroads of sorts. You have to make some big decisions. And, you know, the choices that you make are either going to reflect the North Node confidence that you're supposed to be learning and cultivating in Taurus, or you might be really beholden to something responsible. You might feel a little bit heavy, where you're like, I have to do this. This is the right thing to do. This is the responsible thing to do. I have to do my due diligence. I have to do this the right way. I have to, or maybe you have to honor some existing agreement. You have to, you know, be disciplined and continue honoring a commitment. That's what discipline is. It's honoring a commitment long after the desire to honor the commitment has left you, where it's like a sense of duty. You do it because it's your duty. So do your duty. Or people could be making decisions that are super insecure. With the Scorpio stuff, there might be just people that just crack up a little bit too much, you know. I know when I crack up, it's no fun. That's why I have my cardboard that says the plot. It's just a piece of, let me just grab it. Hold on. I'll be right back. I know I look like a hobo, but this is the plot. It's literally a piece of cardboard with some Sharpie, and it's the plot. So whenever I'm cracking up, I actually hold this to tell myself I have not lost the plot. Okay? And then I go write a script about it. So, you know, it's okay to crack up a little bit. You just don't want to go too far. Or you want to have like a boundary with it, or, you know, reach out for help or something like that. I feel like I say that, but that's such a, I don't know, like, do we really reach out to help when we're like depressed or suicidal? Like, not really. So anyway, okay, so there's where it's like something has to give, something has to break. You might be making the decision all on your own because you feel like a bigger spiritual or cosmic pressure. Like, I have to do this. This is just like the right thing. You might be feeling it, and you might be the instigator of some big changes. Or it could be fate that brings things up to you that you feel you have to respond to. And you may actually have to respond to something. You know, you there's a boot on your car and you have to be like, oh my God. Or there's, you know, like you might actually have to respond to, it depends on where this is happening in your life. But in any case, you'll have to respond to something, either something going on inside you or in your relationships in your life. Maybe it's an opportunity that fate drops into your lap and you have to take it, and you have to change other things in your life. Maybe you just have to get up and move. Maybe you have to get a car, sell a car. Maybe you have to, I don't know, like whatever would make sense like in your life. You'll know this beginning, you'll know tomorrow on Tuesday. So, you know, I'm just gonna say be confident and believe in your own skills, talents, and abilities, and really trust yourself. Because with that Saturn in Aquarius involved in all of this, that's either going to add to the fear, like the Scorpio energy, and people are going to be really running away from responsibility and running away from doing the mature thing, or it's going to feed into the confidence, and they're going to be able to restructure their own reality because they're meeting the challenges. It's like having a child. If you have a child, you've never been a parent before, you have to rise to a higher level of life and productivity, output, you know, to manage your life and then also manage another brand new life. Like, that's a lot of responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Or when you are a business owner, you have to rise to a higher level of life. You have to, you take on everything that an employer, a traditional employer, takes care of. The traditional employer incorporates. They're the ones who construct how the company runs. They're the ones that pay. They're the ones that take care of the direction of the business, the direction of your position, like all of that. When you're a small business owner, you have to think of all that. You have to take on that responsibility. You have to be the one to own it, that you make the company, you do the payroll, you're in charge of the vision, you're in charge of the direction, you're in charge of the growth and the growth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a higher, it's showing up to life in a higher capacity. Or maybe you're getting a promotion at work and you take on more responsibility, you take on more ownership of that role in the company or whatever it is that you're doing, and you have to meet that challenge. You cannot lose the plot. You cannot lose the plot when you are showing up in this bigger way to life, whether that is parenthood or starting a business, growing your business, scaling your business. You can't lose the plot. So this is going to be a crunch where some people can lose the plot. That's the rice. Some people can lose the plot, but some other people can really, like a diamond, like just feel the pressure all around them, whether that's to grow emotionally or spiritually, or be a better person, develop their personality better, be a better character, have better character, or meet some kind of challenge, a logistical challenge, whatever it happens to be. And they rise to it. They feel, everyone feels the pressure. So everyone's going to feel some pressure. So they're either going to answer to it and become a little diamond, or it's going to break them down. Or you might feel like, yeah, and you might have to have a breakdown to get to a breakthrough. You might have to crack up a little bit so that you can surrender enough to get the ideas that you need to get all of the answers out of the breaking down. That makes sense. Okay. It's going to be a long one. Wednesday. God, I don't know if you can hear that. I'll be right back. It's my rice. Hold on. Let me see if it's done. I've been having this issue with the rice. Okay. So on Wednesday, the 16th of November, I'm calling this day Big News and Bigger Reactions. So oh no. Oh my God, was that number the entire time? No, it was good. Okay. So here we are in Wednesday. Oh, it's at 3 a.m. That's kind of funny. Okay. Wednesday, Big News and Bigger Reactions. And this is because of a couple of things. Right over here, we have Venus ingressing into the sign of Sagittarius. So when when Venus ingresses into Sagittarius, we will immediately be feeling major relief. And that's because Venus in Scorpio just felt like everything was super hostile, and that, we just couldn't really relax. Could not relax and just enjoy life, which is what Venus wants to do. And so Venus entering the sign of Sagittarius, this is what adds to the bigness. So whether it's big news or whether there are big responses to the big news, it's big, it's outsized. And it's also saying that we're going to have a lot more fun. Things are going to be more fun. And we're marching towards the new moon next week. So like I said, this is one last week of the eclipse changing type of energy. And so we're going to see some of that still playing out, especially on Wednesday when we have the quarter moon as well. And then, as things ingress into Sagittarius, we could be getting some good news. And, with that Sun Neptune trine today on Monday. So there's potentiality for it to hit early, but it can also be part of your new moon next week, the 23rd, 4th, and 5th, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. So, like I said, not just relief, but love and values and the love nature and aesthetics. It's no longer about how deep you can go. It's about how far you can go. So we're changing we're not going deep into one thing. We've already explored that. We've already really rooted out the honest, the real, the authentic, the organic. We were already able to separate the pretense from the real. So by this time, when Venus moves into Sagittarius, we kind of already know, what's what. We already know what we can we've seen beyond the veil here. When Venus enters into Sagittarius, we're able to have a little bit more fun with it because we're not taking it so seriously anymore. And we want to just explore more. We want to, it'll feel better and it'll feel really good when we can learn about new things. I would say this is kind of like when I talked about Jupiter in Aries, which we're going to have more of next year, where you will want to be a teacher and you will want to have a teacher as well. You want to be an acolyte and you want to have acolytes. That's going to be like so the same thing with this Venus and Sag, that's going to be where you're getting the most benefit, is if you can find something that you have to teach to other people and then find something to learn from someone else. Doesn't have to be the same person, definitely, but just get that energy flowing in those ways, in those areas of life where, you know, over in this area of your life, you're the teacher and you're helping someone understand something and arrive at meaning, deep meaning for something that you're trying to convey, but probably in a very much more lighthearted way. And then over here, you're the opposite of that. So, you know, it's going to be nice. Venus and Sag. I have my Venus in Sagittarius, so that's my Venus return. And I'll tell you this, it's very optimistic. So, you know, even, you know, if I get jilted, if I get, you know, bullied or harassed or put down or whatever happens to be, I can pick myself up and dust myself off pretty well and bounce back. That's Sagittarius energy, that's fire sign energy, where they have that, especially Sagittarius energy, where it's like Tigger energy. It's like, let's just go again. Let's just try it again. Let's just keep going. What's over here? You know, so it'll be easier for people to bounce back, everybody in that. And in those areas of life, when Venus was in Scorpio, it's like scorched earth type of energy, wherever it's very black and white, do or die. Venus in Sag for the next few weeks is going to be so much more lighthearted. It's not going to be that serious, and you'll just want to have fun, and it'll be easier to just focus on having fun. You won't be so like spinning your wheels or paranoid that something bad's going to happen, or like that someone's going to hurt you, or that something's going to be a disaster. You know what I'm saying? Like calamitous type of energy. Venus and Sag is going to help you go for the ride, you know, and just sort of surrender to the experience because you want it. You're going to want to empty your cup. To be a good student, you need to have the empty cup. You cannot litigate your notes. It's a writer thing. But yeah, you can't, so you're going to want that knowledge. You're going to be soaking up some kind of like new experiences. Also on Wednesday, we have Mercury in Scorpio trining over to Jupiter retrograding in the sign of Pisces. This is another thing about big news, especially emotional reactions. So I would say Wednesday, up to Wednesday, is definitely like what new information are we taking in? What are we, you know, kind of closing out in terms of what we learned in Scorpio season as we prepare and get ready for integrating those experiences into a broader philosophy. So we're about to really focus on philosophizing everything that we've been through, not just in Scorpio season, but like just in life, like just a nice little update. So, you know, this can be a broadening of conversations of people that you're discussing things with, or going bigger into one topic. You know, this would, you know, for me, this would be like taking, I have so many ideas, but it would be like taking one idea and then opening that up and breaking story and doing all of the things that I do to get it to, you know, a feature film or a pilot, whatever happens to be. So you can pick one, careful not to scatter your energies. You don't want it to be more like a shotgun with this one. With this Mercury in Scorpio, it's a little bit more pointed, it's a little bit more specific. So likely you're going to want to open up something specific and get more deep into something rather than be more Jupiterian and do like a lot of different things or talk about. I would say it's probably opening up a lot of potentiality from one thing or one topic or one something. So just be careful of reactions and responses, because there could be, you know, the moon's squaring over to that Mercury, so there could be overreactions. People could, especially if they're not very confident, especially if they had a difficult Scorpio season where they were really grabbed by the energy, if they're really grabbed by all this stuff, and they're more, this is why I do this is why we do this, so that we're not like on the Godfather strings, and just, you know, that we have more creative control of our own lives. So with that moon square to Mercury, as Mercury trines over to Jupiter, you just want to make sure that if you are angry, that you don't go like overboard. If you are critical, if you are, you know, but also pay attention if you guys see that. If that Leo moon knocks up against that Scorpio Mercury, and there's an inflexibility to someone, or there's this determined rigidness to someone, that could create problems. If not everyone's ready to be Venus and Saturn, if not everyone's ready to let go of the letting go-ness of Scorpio season, then they'll have a problem with that. Also on Wednesday, we have the quarter moon in Leo. So Leo is also going to square the sun in Scorpio, not just Mercury, but also the sun. This is a closing square. So we have the full moon, and this is now closing, losing, waning in light of a quarter moon. So that happens when there's a 90-degree angle between the moon and the sun, but it's closing down. We're preparing and consolidating to make way for a new beginning. So we're closing out business, closing out accounts, closing out the books, closing out the quarter, whatever. And it's time to accept it, let it go, you know, let it go, let it in, let it be. It's an accepting square. This is not the time to push through obstacles. This is the time to accept it. Just accept what, oh, mother of pearl. I hope the price is done. Hold on, sorry. Okay. We're back. Okay, so yeah, the quarter moon losing in light, it's basically saying to just accept it. And that's why this can also be feeding into bigger reactions, because fixed sign energy, like that can tweak out. Like fixed sign energy having to change can definitely tweak out. So especially with a very dramatic Leo moon, like that could make people very theatrical with their responses, very theatrical with their, like if anyone's resisting things on the quarter moon, it's gonna be very painful for them, because they're not going to, because you can't change it, you can't reverse it. All you can do is be super mad at it. It's kind of a terrible feeling. You know, think about like if your parents get divorced and then your dad remarries or your mom remarries, and you're like, get the fuck out of my fucking house. Who the fuck are you, bruh? You know, you just feel like you hate it, like you absolutely hate it. You're like, you know, and but it's futile or futile. It's futile, right? I always say futile. I don't know why I said futile. Futile. It's futile. And it's a powerless feeling, and it's fucking terrible, and it sucks, and it's painful, and it's heartbreaking, and it's depressing. And like, I just remember that feeling. Like, I have my little sister, and I remember when my dad was dating the woman that he married, and it was horrible. Like, it was miserable. It was super miserable. So, I mean, I just know that it's a little bit personal, but I have a very specific perspective of what I would do and what I would never do if I were like dating someone that had children, or dating someone that had, I don't know, maybe even just like 2 children or 2 girls or something. Like, I just, so anyway, but that's what this kind of feels like, is like so don't try to resist the change. Like, just try to go with the flow, try to be as open as possible, try not to judge the experience before you have it, that kind of a thing. On Wednesday, and that Venus in Sag should help you have a bigger perspective, like, oh, this is a big change, but it could be good for me and I could benefit from it, and let's see where this goes. Or people will be like kicking and screaming, and that Venus in Sag is instead going to go grandiose, and you don't want to go grandiose. When I go grandiose, it's because I'm writing a biopic, epic, horror thriller or something. When I go grandiose, it's because I'm writing, you know, a spec script about a superhero. When I go grandiose, it's always in my art. It's always in my screenwriting. It's always, that's where I channel that energy. So don't be afraid to go big. You know, you can go big, especially if you are artistic. You can design a set, you can mold a sculpture, you can whatever, you know, but you don't want to go grandiose in your philosophy or in your perspective, and you don't want to be a know-it-all. Sagittarius energy, Leo energy, Aries energy, maybe Scorpio energy. Could be sort of know-it-alls. Know-it-alls of the zodiac. So, you know, let it open your mind instead of being like judgy, because Sagittarius, instead of being open-minded, could be super judgy, and Scorpio can be super judgy. So okay, that was everything for Wednesday. Thursday, the 17th. Let me know if that's okay for you guys. I don't want it to bother anybody's eyes, so let me know in the comments below if that's okay that I do this. But it just came up like right now, so I'm just experimenting. We can change that. So okay, your eyes are precious to me. Okay, Thursday the 17th of November. I'm calling this day Big Ideas because we also have, and I talked about this in my monthly for October, that from the 7th of November until the 21st of November, we're having Venus and Mercury moving together. So Mercury now joins the party, and they have entered Sagittarius. So it's really nice because the last aspects that they both make before entering Sag, Venus and Mercury both trined over to Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. So same thing, except it's with the mind and mentality. So if Venus in Sag is that aesthetic, broadening our awareness and what we can consider to be beautiful and pleasing, and keeping an open mind in regards to creative ideas, creative flow, who we're dating, what we're into, what we like, you know, just being fucking open-minded. Like truly, you know, we all think we're open-minded, and we all have, like, you know, I'm still very judgmental about onions. I don't want to try it again. I tried it when I was like, I don't know, like 10. I didn't like it. I don't want to try it again. I don't want to try it again. I don't care, you know? So, you know, but that's fine if it's something stupid and small like onions. Don't let it be, you know, judging people and judging that kind of thing. So Mercury enters Sagittarius, and like I said, that could be very grandiose. People could be thinking very grandiose, but unless it's like creative and you're doing something like fun and interesting and something that's a little bit more lighthearted, it could be that people are overpromising, that people are exaggerating, that people are inflating things, and that's, we live in such a growing era of like a fraudulent system and a fraudulent activities. This isn't like double mortgaging horses you bought in Dallas to sell in Chicago in the 1850s. Okay, it's a whole different game now. So, you know, how do we combat that? How do we really have accurate, good defenses against something like that? One of the things is being able to see things in ourselves on a personal level. So this Mercury in Sag is going to be very global minded. Now that can be on either side. People can be super grandiose and judgy, or people could be more global minded in terms of putting an emphasis on studying something they don't know anything about for the purpose of broadening their awareness to it instead of prejudging it. So thinking about the onions, that would be like me learning about, I don't know, like the health benefits of onions. Maybe that's a bad example. So if there's anything that's interesting to you, if there's anything that grabs your curiosity around Thursday with the big ideas, follow up on it. Follow your curiosity. Even as early as like Monday, Tuesday, follow, because you're being divinely guided early on in the week. Follow your curiosity, follow your guidance, follow up on it, see where it leads you. Because mentally, it could open you up to a whole new life experience. Not just in that Sagittarius area of life, though. This is going to be more of a focus because we also have Mars retrograding in the sign of Gemini. So eventually we're going to move away from such south node flushing of things and reconciling that with Saturn in Aquarius. And we're going to be moving into Sag season where we're going to see oppositions to Mars in Gemini. We're going to see squares to the things in Pisces. So our motivations are changing, directions are changing, and maybe even what we're physically doing. Like we could actually be changing directions in like a very big way, depending on where this is happening in life. So yeah, keep an open mind, follow up on any hunches, or if you want to learn about any new topics. Like I said, ideally with the Sag stuff, and when Jupiter enters Aries late December, early January, you want to focus on being a student and being a teacher at the same time. That's when you're going to get like the absolute most benefit. It's not so warm anymore. Okay, so also happening on Thursday, we have the moon in Virgo trining over to the North Node. There we are. Trining over, you can't see it, but it's like 13 degrees of Taurus. So the moon trining over to the North Node is emotionally, or circumstances that are changing in your life are very indicative of more of what your future is going to have and be about. And what's interesting is I feel like this is going to be very supportive to paying attention and taking care of the details that support where things are really going for you, maybe creatively or with your resources or your confidence levels, because that North Node in Taurus, interesting with Uranus also in Taurus, but that's about really relying on yourself in that area of life. But it's changing, like the whole foundation of it is breaking up. So you have to still maintain the confidence and build on the changes, on the pivots. You know, you can't be married to just one idea or thought or way of doing something. You have to stay open to many potentialities. And, you know, whatever is forming and will continue to form is going to be your new normal. But right now it's very revolutionary for you personally, all of us on an individual level. So it's like you're getting the circumstances could be changing on Thursday. There could be a lot of just like little busy work, like little details, like little phone calls and emails and like the little things to take care of. Especially with routines, like depending on where and how this is happening in your life, you may need to, oh, hello, welcome, Wilkommen, Guten Morgen. There could be some kind of routine change where maybe you have different things to do during the day that you didn't have before, and they could be kind of surprising or unexpected, or you could just, it could even be subtler where you don't know why. Maybe most people, this is so weird, but most people don't read after they graduate high school. I think it's something like people read like 8 books in their life after they graduate high school, and that's it. And I was like, oh my God, it's really crazy. Anyway, but like, let's say you never read, and then all of a sudden you feel like you want to read like some book that you find, I don't know, like one of those free book things, and it's like the title grabs you and you just like start reading. Maybe that's part of your Taurus North Node Uranus energy, is that you're going to be more of a reader. You're going to be more interested in storytelling, or, you know, just something, anything. But the trine, it's like another gimme. It's a get. It's easy flow. So, you know, whether you're troubleshooting your technology, maybe whatever happens to be, whatever's changing, it's very supportive. You, like, little changes are supporting this resource shift where you may be relying on more of the Taurus area of your life and less on the Scorpio area of your life. So this moon trine over to the North Node could give you confidence, but it can also give you these little changes in these resources, in the little things that support a bigger, hold on, there's like something. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that like right on the mic. I don't know if that's like an allergy or anything. Okay. So, I think I did that justice. I think we talked about the moon in a justicey type of way. Yeah, so basically on Thursday, Mercury enters Sag and circumstances could change, or your feelings could change, or you could feel emotionally drawn to things that are really going to be more of your future, and you may be getting things ready. You know, let's say you've got maybe your friend's going to be coming to stay with you and you're like packing up the room, or you have your niece coming to stay with you for a few weeks and you're getting the room ready, or maybe you are selling your car and you're cleaning it out and you're detailing your own car and you're getting all of the things taken care of. You know, it's something like that. So it's like the little things that you're able to do to prepare for like some big thing that's coming up. Okay. Friday, the 18th of November. It's such a shift. It's such a difference when we do this. Okay, welcome to Friday, the 18th of November. Here we have, I'm calling this day Avoid the Traps, or Avoid Traps. And that's because we have the sun in Scorpio, sextiling Pluto in Capricorn. We have that moon in Virgo also, opposing Neptune retrograde and squaring, did I say that right? Yeah, and squaring Mars. Let's see if I can just, gosh, my arm looks very long. I was kind of used to seeing it that way. Well, it's fine. Okay. So the sun, Pluto, sextile. I'm a big fan. I'm a sun, sextile, Pluto person natally, so I'm a big fan. This is really nice for being able to deeply transform your goals, your identity, your ambitions, your agenda, your purpose. And it's very authentic. Like it's very, if you're a sun Pluto person, you either are in self-possession or you are not. Okay, I speak so much about self-mastery and self-control and energetic self-mastery because I understand compulsive energy. Okay, I would eat pounds of candy every single week. Okay, so I wanted to order some more candy too, but I shan't. I've had so many root canals and so many emergency dental visits that I've learned my hard lessons, but you know. So you either have a lid on the compulsive energy, like you can handle yourself, and you know when you get the feelings have to come up. So it's not that you don't feel these feelings, it's knowing what to do with these feelings and not allowing them to make decisions for you. That's the difference between someone that is self-possessed and someone that is not self-possessed. You know, so someone that's not self-possessed could be someone that either they're totally have no self-concept of that, and they just are performative with their subconscious programming, and they just feel what they feel and they can't help themselves. Even if they want to be nice to someone, they can't help but be a jerk. Even if they want to you know, do the right thing for their kid, they just do the wrong thing. You know, it's like they cannot control themselves, or they try to control themselves. They try to have a handle on it, but they suppress everything and they try to just not feel that feeling. They turn it off. They turn off a lot of parts of themselves to try and control themselves. So Sun Pluto could be really great for your goals and your ambitions. You might feel like you have really, really strong support from maybe even like a VIP or a higher up or a man or a masculine dominant person, or you know, just some area of your life is really coming through and transforming, and your goals are very supported. It's a lot of positive ego validation, you know, with Sun Pluto. And there could be some, I would say, on Sun Pluto, there could be really successful strategizing or really successful, I would say even instruction or some kind of positive contact from an authority figure. So you can learn a lot from authority figures that are really affirming and really powerful. And, you know, as a teacher and instructor, I love to empower and put all of the credit into my acolytes. That just like, it makes me feel good. But I'm a Sun Neptune person, so that kind of thing, giving the power away to someone else, does feel good. So the way I do it healthily is being a teacher, is being an instructor, and it's like, you run with it, you know, go baby go, you know, go little rock star. So, you know, it's really easy for me to be happy for other people. It's really easy for me to support somebody else. So, you know, you could feel like you've got support from someone like that. You might feel like there's someone that, or something, some element, fate, depending on where this is happening for you, where you might feel like a goal or an ambition of yours is being blessed by universe, is being sanctioned by your divine timing. Something could be opening up and saying, now's the time. You may pass go and collect the $200. You know, so this can also be deeply transformative for the ego nature and structure. So just because it's a sextile doesn't mean that it's going to always feel great. It's just easier. It's an easier energy flow, but it's an opportunity that has to be capitalized on. So there could be an opportunity here that gets passed up, maybe because people are, I don't know, some kind of negative or something. Like, these are kind of negative signs, like literally because they're earth and water signs, but also maybe like spiritually or in other ways, people could be, it could be kind of negative. That's why I'm saying, like, avoid the traps, because that Sun Pluto could be, if you're like very empowered, that could be really a wonderful insight and a wonderful contact with an authority that you respect. So that's cool. I love that. I love, I have my Venus in Sag. I love learning. I love, I know how to be a good student too. Like, I know how to really like empty my cup and just let them just download whatever I need to about it. But I have to trust, you know, you really have to trust a mentor or a teacher with that kind of power to do that for you too. So, you know, also on Friday. Also on Friday, we have, like I said, that sort of, let's see, is it kind of a T-square 17? We'll call it a T-square 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah. So when the moon gets into those a little bit of an upper degrees of Virgo, going to be forming a T-square, they're going to be opposing Neptune, and they're going to be squaring Mars and Gemini. So that's kind of, it says that we're changing our course of, and this is interesting, like this happens, I almost missed this one, because this happens right before we get into, it happens right before we get into some deeper stuff. So on Friday, we're changing our course of action, or we're changing the direction, and possibly this can be a result of changing circumstances, either by our own design or by fate's design. I'm just going to say, just try to be self-aware, because you don't want to, here's what I want to say. I almost missed this little T-square because I was very focused on Saturday, which is when we have the second Mars-Neptune square. But this kind of triggers it ahead of that. So even as early as Friday, there could be traps of perspective, like delusional traps that people are falling into if they've been taking inappropriate action or doing bad things or lying or anything nefarious since. I want to be very exact with this because it's very exact. And if we have the exact information, we got to use it. Okay, so Mars is in Gemini from August the 20th, 2022 to March 30th, 2023. I went through all these dates for all 12 zodiac signs in the monthlies over on Patreon. The pre-shadow start was from September the 6th to October the 29th. That was a shadow. Whatever that was, we are now rehashing, we're reinventing it. We need to relaunch it later possibly, but we're redoing it because it's necessary. We have to go back and do something to fix it from the 6th of September to October the 29th. The retrograde is from October the 30th of this year to January 12th of 2023. This is when we're problem solving and we're troubleshooting, and we are, you know, analyzing anything that could have been annoying or frustrating, but it's also just what we're doing and where our efforts are going. So it doesn't have to be like super dramatic and emotional, but we are changing directions here, and we are rethinking things, and we are finding that it's a better idea to put our energy and effort over here like this. And we're seeing that from October 30th until January 12th. So you don't want to relaunch during this time. This is the time when you're seeing what needs to be fixed and corrected, and you can make adjustments. Like you can do big adjustments even, you know. But the thing throughout this retrograde is that Neptune is squaring Mars 3 times. The first time was October 10th, 11th, 12th, around that time. And there was a hit. There was something significant around that time that was inspiring us or telling us that we have to change course. We have to change direction. You know, some kind of adjustment is necessary. And it's not what we thought. So this is also good for people that have any kind of issues with suppressed anger or frustration, or any kind of recurring issues that come up. And this Saturday is the second square. There's going to be one last one, but it's going to be so different. Life is going to be so different. It's going to be next year. So just focus on this one. This second square is so interesting. And like I said, it gets triggered early. Okay, so the time for the launch, when you want to, like, if you are doing a relaunch, or if you are just like moving ahead with adjustments made, that'll be January 12th to March 15th of 2023. Okay, so going back to Friday, that moon in Virgo is going to activate that in a T-square. So even as early as Friday of this week, there's a course correction. There's something that we're changing our course of action. We're changing how we're using our motivation. We're changing what we're doing with our, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is like changing jobs, changing careers, changing motivation, changing projects, changing staff, changing class assignments, changing what you're signing up to learn in a study in a college, or you know, something like that. I think it's gonna be cold. It's still okay. Okay, so that's your T-square. That's going to be like either circumstances are changing and you have to change course, you're changing direction, or emotionally there's something happening where you feel an emotional pressure. Like, I have to do this. This is like sitting on my conscience. This doesn't feel right. Like, I need to like do this. I need to communicate this. I need to change this. You know, that Mars retrograde is saying that we don't have momentum in what we're trying to do so hard in Gemini right now. So you really want to take a back seat and let the flow show you where it's going, because the more you try to push, the more you try to make something work that is not working, the more frustrating it'll be. And the danger on this energy is that you could take the wrong action. You can be inappropriate with the action that you're taking, whether that's what you're saying, because it's in Gemini, with what you're doing, because it is Mars, or how you, here's the thing, with Mars squaring Neptune, that does say crossing or softening or invading or melting boundaries. So it needs to be the right context. You know, you don't want to cross someone's boundaries to insult them, for instance, or, you know, make them feel like shit, right? You know, you want to, what I see this is sort of like breaking through glass ceilings. if there was something that was inaccessible to you previously, you know, that's the boundary that I'm thinking of when I'm saying like a positive way to break through boundaries is to break through your own limits of what you thought was possible, your own limits to what you thought was viable, your own limits to what you believed about your life in these areas, Virgo, Gemini, Pisces. And this should be easier because these are mutable signs. So on one hand, guys, I have already seen it blow up where around October 10th, 11th, 12th, that people are just taking the wrong actions, man. They're doing the wrong things, they're saying the wrong things, foot in the mouth, very regrettable, very regrettable. And these could have long-term unintended consequences, you know, and you won't know that fully until next year. So the missteps, all the lying that people are doing right now, all of the underhandedness, all the backhandedness, all of that is building up so much bad karma that's going to really set in, and people won't even understand how bad they're doing until next year. They are not fully grasping the levity of the mistakes they're making right now. They're not going to get it until next year. So the moon activating this square in a T-square says that you have to change course. You have to do something different. The pressure and the responsibility is on you to be able to discern whether you are taking a different course of action that is positive, that is, you know, this could be where you become the first woman to, I really don't know, the first, I'm giving you examples that are just coming up easy for me because it's me, but like the first screenwriter woman in outer space, you know, like something like that. It could be like you break a barrier, a boundary for that kind of a reason. Like it's like a positive thing. Oh, how cool would that be though? Okay, so I'm getting too excited about that idea. So, you know, but it could be that's where you want to like orient. So come Friday when there's pressure or things are changing, and you don't know what to do, because this could be very for people like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It's too new and different, and I don't have the belief and the faith to take the different action that I'm supposed to take. And I'm also understanding that I can't stay the same. Things can't go on as they have gone on before. But I don't know what to, you know, so people could really feel very organically confused. But when that happens, their shadows, everyone's subconscious programming comes out. And that's what usually takes the default. The default response in people is going to be whatever their programming was. So if it's to hurt you, if it's to ghost you, if it's to disappoint you, if it's to kiss up to you and you know, kiss ass, whatever it is, whether it's to talk their way out of something, talk their way into something, whatever it is, that's people's defaults. People might revert to their defaults, and if it's nefarious, if it's not positive, if it's toxic, that shit's gonna blow the fuck up on them. Like, it's gonna be fucking terrible. It's gonna be terrible in the moment, but it's also gonna have potential unintended consequences that they're not going to understand until next year, and it will be too late by that point. Be too late, can't go back. You can't go back. Frodo, don't go where I cannot follow. Sorry, nobody asked for that. You're here for the astrology and the tarot. Okay. Okay, so just really beware Friday. That's why I'm calling Friday avoid the traps. Avoid the traps. Avoid fighting over petty, small, insignificant details. Don't go low. Don't go petty on Friday. Change your own mind. Change your own mind, your own perspective. This can be a square. This is the second square. So this could be, if people really dig themselves in a ditch at this square, it's going to take months to unravel this. It is going to take months to, they're going to be dealing with it for months. I would rather this be you making a conscious change of direction because your beliefs are changing and you're believing something else is possible or something more is possible, and you're changing gears that way. I would rather it be that for you, and that's what you're working on over the next couple of months, rather than to go back and correct some action or not inaction, or to go back and correct misaction, taking action the wrong way. And listen, Moon square Mars, Moon Mars is very passionate, very evocative, very instigating, very, that's such a trigger energy. Like, I know on Mars, Moon Mars, like everyone's ready to just hit send. For better or for worse, everyone's ready to just pop off. Everyone's ready to say the thing. Everyone's ready to just go for the jugular. People are really ready to just do that. And with this kind of energy, it could be, the pettiness could take over people, and they could just, and they could really ruin themselves, because they could think that, oh, there's no harm in being petty. There's no harm in being a little piece of shit. There's no harm in, you know, this could be that energy, though, you know, people that like to get their digs in, get their get back in under the wire. They try to be underhanded with that. That shit's gonna blow up so bad. I'm telling you, anything like that's gonna, like, just don't ever treat people crummy. Just don't do that. Just don't. And if you cannot help yourself, get help. Look for help. Try. Just keep trying. Try and try and try. Be patient with yourself, but try. Try to overcome things. Try to see things from different perspectives. Don't try to instead make everything accommodate your crumminess. The world is not like that anymore. Okay? It is not like that anymore, where you can just use corruption to just change everything. Okay? The world's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. The world is not like that anymore. It's changing fast. It's changing faster than it ever has ever before. So if you're a relic and you still think that way, it's going to be the worst for those people. Okay, so hope I've sufficiently... Oh, hello! Hey, Pooter's here. The brand is here. Good morning. Guten Morgen, everybody. Hello. Oh, I'm so... Why am I so chatty this morning? Goodness gracious. Saturday. It's a long one. It's a very long one. Okay. Let's get you over here. Saturday. Okay. On Saturday, I'm calling this day, on the 19th of November, I'm calling this day Be Aware or Celebrate. And this is how you're taking the day before. That moon has bothered you and has either in a positive way, like very energizing, where you just love to get ready. You're loving getting the room ready. You're loving cleaning out the car. You're loving doing all the preparatory things in order to change that direction, change that focus, troubleshoot, or pull your energy and your motivation into something different, or into something, you know, or to go back to a project and make it even better, you know, something like that. So now we're in Saturday. This is the day of the second square from Mars to Neptune. So you're getting a little bit of a trigger of it earlier on Friday, but Saturday's the day. Saturday's the big day. And I'll talk on the low side first. So on the low side, it's beware, because that Mars squaring Neptune, guys, I am telling you, people have been lying their asses off. People have been just a lot of lies, just like blatant lying. It's like fucking exhausting. So, you know, there's a lot of lies, but also a lot of exposing of the lies, exposing of the underhandedness, exposing of, and that's another thing, is that you don't launch the first attack on a Mars retrograde. You don't do it. You just don't. It's going to blow up in your face. We already talked about this. So on the second square, on the lower end, it could be that someone or something, like there's just something corrupt or corrupted, or some other inappropriate actions. There could be some inappropriate actions taking place, and karma will come back for that. Like, you don't, at the most you can respond, but I don't know if I would trust the response. I don't know if I would respond at this time. I'm not responding. That's my whole tactic for this entire Mars retrograde. If I have to respond, if I have to defend myself, I will, but I really have to be pushed into a corner to do that, because I am not on a Mars retrograde, on the Mars pre-shadow. No way. So think back to October 10th, 11th, 12th. This is a return of that energy. Maybe not for both better and worse, maybe hopefully just for the better. But think about it. Just think back of what was going on. I had to, if you have to defend yourself, if you had to defend yourself around the first square, October 10th, 11th, 12th, you might have to do it again, or you might not. It might be, let me talk about the higher side. So the bright side of this is to celebrate because something goes a lot better than you thought. It's not nearly as scary or as tumultuous or as depressing or pessimistic as you thought. That's one thing I like about Neptune squares, is that it could mean that your worst fears will not come true and things are so much better than you thought. It could also work in the reverse, where things are worse than you thought. I don't want you to get stuck up on that though. So, you know, on the square, like I said, don't be the first to launch an attack. You'll lose. And that's the thing, is that like all this comes back, you know, all of the negative energy comes back, just like all the positive energy comes back. So, you know, don't be the first to launch an attack. If you do, like if anyone attacks this week, this week leads up to this is the big aspect of the week, is the second Mars square Neptune. So leading up to this, if anyone's lying or deceptive or being underhanded or, I don't know, being like a jealous little shit, you know, anything like that, that's going to come back to haunt them. If anyone launches an attack, especially if it's petty and small, not only will you lose, but you could also be humiliated in the process. You could be publicly humiliated or otherwise interpersonally humiliated in the process. So the karma could come back very swiftly, or it could come back swiftly and it could unravel even more over the next couple months and into next year. So we just don't have all the information, or the information that we're getting is not totally correct and accurate. It's just missing more information, you know. So it's like people could be taking the wrong, incorrect, inappropriate actions based off of the wrong information, or not having enough information. That's part of why people lying and launching attacks look fucking stupid. I'm sorry to say it like that. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. You look silly when you are being paranoid and projecting onto someone that you vowed to love and trust until the day you die, and you find out that they're not doing anything wrong. You know, it's like or, you know, whatever this happens to be, you try to be petty and underhanded and slide something in and hurt somebody, and you don't know who that was, and that was someone that you didn't want to do that to. And you might not find that out until next year. You might not know who you're really talking to. You might not know what the real situation is. You might not know what the real, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just very misinformed aggression. I'm trying to look out for you guys here. Don't, like I said, don't ever treat anyone like shit, ever. Especially don't launch any attacks at this time. Okay. So whatever you think you know will change, for better or for worse. And so, but think back, like I said, to October 10th, 11th, 12th. There was some new ideas. There were things you hadn't considered before, or ways of using your motivation, ways of taking action, ways of acting, ways of even getting motivated, just different ways that are coming up. And it wasn't something that you thought about previously. It wasn't something you considered before. So hopefully it's for the positive. Another way this can manifest is exhaustion, feeling very tired, not knowing like where and how to put your energy, but knowing it has to change because you're exhausted. It could also be fogginess, like mental fogginess. It could be an aggravation of any kind of mental illness, but a lot of lies, probably a lot more lies, probably a lot more of, okay, this is so hilarious. So the eclipse was the 8th on Tuesday, the total lunar eclipse. And what do I say? And a lot of astrologers say this, with Uranus, expect the unexpected. There's no way to tell. There's no, whatever you think it's going to be, it's not that. All of us astrologers think of things and try to figure it out every single time. None of us are ever right, because it's Uranus. And look at what happened. Everyone thought there was going to be a red wave, and it turned out to be a red condensation, you know? that was surprising. That was the surprise. Whereas, you know, before, if everyone thought, what was it that everyone thought Hillary was gonna, what was it that she was gonna win, but Trump won? It was something like that. That would have been the big surprise that like shocked everybody. So it's like, it's just like now what you expect. Also with Twitter, see, astrologers, we knew there was going to be a flurry of information, that everyone was going to be talking about something. We knew that there was going to be this huge emphasis, and this is that perfect square, that Mars squaring Neptune, Mars retrograde in Gemini squaring Neptune retrograde in Pisces is so encapsulating the perfect example of people paying for the blue check and impersonating brands and posting the most hilarious shit. Like I said, like we're living in an increasingly fraudulent society, and that is just such a perfect picture of that, where you have frauds purchasing the blue checks to represent these brands that are tanking their stock value and blowing up Twitter's value. Like that is just like the funniest example. I'm actually relieved that it's that, because it could have been so much worse. So, you know, that's not so bad, because we know that it's fraudulent. We know that these are not the real brands. We know, you know what I'm saying? But maybe in the beginning, at the first glance, you don't. But, you know, you have to go back and look, and it's like, oh, it's a different whatever. Some are clearly, obviously parody, you know? So I think that's just like a funny as fuck example. Okay. God, that's so funny. That's just hilarious. So that's going to continue. But you know, I'm gonna say just like try to have a good sense of humor about everything always. But like I said, there could just be something that turns out to be way better than you imagine. There could be some really positive breakthroughs and really positive, miraculous things where you're able to break through a barrier that maybe had been closed off to you because you are a woman, because you are disabled, because you are marginalized in some way, shape, or form in society. And this Mars square could show you that society's changing, that the world's values are changing, and you are now included in those values of the world where you were not included in those values of the world previously. So, you know, hopefully it's the latter and not the former. But like I said, if you are like getting attacked or slandered or like anything like that, try not to respond if you can. But if you have to respond, you're going to be protected because you're responding to it. You're not instigating it. Okay. Was that everything? I think that's basically the moon's gonna, oh yeah, the moon enters Libra. Oh, and then you're going to get into a really nice situation. So let's go ahead and move on. Oops. Sunday. Okay. Sunday, the 20th of November. I'm calling it finally coming together. This is really nice. Look at that beautiful moon. Actually, I'll just leave it alone. Okay. So eventually the moon is going to make a grand air trine with that Mars retrograde in Gemini and that Saturn in Aquarius, direct in Aquarius. We have like, what is it going to be, like 16 more weeks of Saturn in Aquarius? Then we won't have Saturn in these back-to-back signs for almost 30 years. It's a lot. This has been a lot for everybody. Okay, so I'm calling it finally coming together because we have the Sun trining Jupiter. The Sun is the last one to trine Jupiter before entering into Sagittarius. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So this whole week, remember, we've gotten over Sun, Mercury, and Venus crossing the South Node. You know, really testing us. And now this week, Venus, Mercury, and the Sun are all going to trine Jupiter before entering Sagittarius. Now you're going to see the two ingresses of Mercury and Venus this week. The Sun will enter Sag season next week, next Tuesday. So you want to make sure that you're milking this the absolute most you possibly can. So this sun trining over to Jupiter, that's like feeling that our path, our goals, you know, our ambition is in alignment with the divine. We may feel especially karmically sanctioned at this time to go ahead with what we're doing. I think that fake whipping cream, that fake whipping cream is growing on me. I'm thinking that I'm very much liking it. The fake whipping cream. Okay, so okay, so the sun trining over to Jupiter, that's an easy get. That's an easy gimme. That's an easy flowing feeling. And I'm really liking this because the week opens up with that sun trining over to Neptune. So sun trining over to Jupiter is saying that, like, yes, we're still feeling like everything is in divine alignment. And this can also be like help from a mentor or a teacher or someone that we respect, or just someone that knows more about something than us. I really like that for that. So there could be even counsel, maybe about your career or your direction, or this could be very successful energy for masculine energy in yourself, and maybe even like masculines in your life. Or there could be men and masculines that could be extra bright and shiny. Like they could be very like respected for what they know and for what they're teaching and sharing. And that's another thing too, like gatekeeping information, that's such an old, that's dated. Like if you are gatekeeping information, it's dated as fuck. Okay, like this, if it's just it's very outdated. It's very it's just dated. It's just really, really dated. Like if you are keeping things like super secret and super like restrictive, anyone trying to restrict information, restrict the, you know, that's such a South Node Scorpio thing. You know, you want to share what you know, you want to learn from others, you want all of that. So, you know, the sun Jupiter could be that you just get some really wonderful insight or information, or you're sharing information, sharing some insight. Someone could be under your tutelage, you could be under somebody else's tutelage, and really gain and benefit. This can also be really, really great for travel or for any kind of exploration, spiritual exploration. You know, this is something that's feeling very, like I said, very karmically sanctioned. There's a lot of great benefit here in these areas of life. And I like it that you get like a last sweet little something before the last Scorpio planet leaves Scorpio, because it's just been really rough for all of that Scorpio area of your life. Something's definitely closing down and ending, and you know, just done. You're just done with it. Done thinking a certain way, done holding on to certain things, whatever. So this is almost like you get this last perspective off of everything that you've been learning. You get this last, it's like you think about it for the last time and you know everything about it. Like you get the full picture. Let me put it that way. Not like you know everything, but you have the bigger vision of what certain things have been serving, or you might finally understand the bigger picture of something that maybe was difficult to understand, you know, just a few weeks ago. Oh, hello everybody. There was just another school shooting this morning. Hi Natalie, great day. You know, that's kind of interesting with Mars. Okay, let me just speak on that for a second. Thank you, Pooter. So that Mars square Neptune is going to be in, if that's not, it goes exact on Saturday, but we're going to be in it we're in it for an extended period of time. What that could be also on the dark side, speaking to that could be obsessions with serial killers. That could be, it was very interesting to see the air show disaster on a Mars Neptune square. You had, because this is also, okay, so this is like objectives or how you're putting your effort and energy into something, changing and being different. It's also people being nefarious and lying and taking jabs at you and being real petty. But it's also low visibility. So that low visibility, when I give you these interpretations, it's giving you the conscious perspective of how to use the energy, and it's also giving you the unconscious expression to help you protect yourself against other people that are under the same influences as the rest of us are, but are not aware or conscious or care about being good people. Okay. Another manifestation of this Mars square Neptune energy is just, it's when I was talking about the fogginess and the exhaustion and, you know, that kind of thing. It's a little bit more objective, which can mean low visibility. So be careful, because my favorite band of all time, Rammstein, they got their name because of an air show disaster that occurred in the town of Rammstein in Deutschland. So that's the first thing that I thought of when I saw those planes. I also thought it was very interesting that they were World War II planes. Like, that's a very karmic, like, energy. Like, maybe they were always destined to, like, do that. I don't know. I really don't know. So, wouldn't be surprised if we saw disasters with any kind of travel, planes, trains, automobiles, maybe because of mistakes, but also maybe because of nefariousness, like someone drives a car into a crowd type of thing, you know? So yeah, Mars is also, you know, the handgun thing with the school shootings. That's part of a bigger energy. And I think that does have something to do with the last Mars-Uranus, one of the Mars-Uranus conjunctions. There was something I remember about that. Okay. So, but back to Sunday. So you're feeling like the Scorpio and the Pisces areas of your life are very much not just aligned, but you're also getting that bigger perspective. So you may really have way more of the picture put together by Saturday, and you may be very pleased with what you're observing and what you're seeing. There could be more things coming into place that you are making changes on because you're getting more information on one hand, but it's, you know, you don't have all the information. So you're going as you're guided. You're going as the information comes through. And so, you know, you could see more of the bigger picture come Saturday. And with the Mars square Neptune, you see more of the bigger picture, and you're happier because new things are opening up for you, and things are better than you thought they were. And there's, you know, an opportunity to, you know, break through the glass ceiling or something, or you're getting the bigger perspective and you're realizing some mistakes, or you're realizing some inappropriate actions, or you're realizing that you've got to change course, you've got to change how you're talking or how you're thinking or how you're behaving or acting. Okay. Oh, and then the moon in Libra forms a grand air trine to Mars, and Mars retrograde in Gemini, and Saturn in Aquarius. That's really great socializing energy. So there could be something really great for personal relationships and dynamics, especially with authority figures and mentors on the weekend, where if you allow them, if you let that person that knows that if you just let the expert talk, if you just let the teacher teach, if you just let them speak, you know, like when I'm around someone like that, I am like, I just want to listen. I just want to, if they let me ask a couple questions, like I'll ask, but I just want to listen. That's it. Like, just zip it. You must zip it good, like Dr. Evil. So, you know, zip it good and listen. Just listen to what they have to say. And, you know, it could be really, really beneficial. Likewise, if there are nefarious, if it's a lower expression of that energy, then it'll feel more like a slap on the wrist. It'll feel more like a pinch of like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or oh, I really burned that bridge, or oh, I didn't handle that the right way, or oh, I need to like go back and do, you know, something like to make something, like to correct an imbalance or to correct some kind of mistake. Or you may see where you went off the rails. You may see where you dug yourself into a deeper hole by lying, or by doing the wrong thing, or taking the wrong action, or trying to be petty and underhanded, and it blows up in your face, and you know, it's not what you thought, you know, whatever. So okay, I'm gonna fold my little legs and we shall move on to your tarot. Down. I'm so silly. I'm so silly. Okay. This to that. You can kind of see you guys. Okay, let's take a look at your week ahead. What do my people need to know about the week ahead? So yeah, overall this week, you guys, it's going to be a good week. Good news before the good news. Oh, I didn't even say that. So this is good news before the good news, because next week we have a beautiful, it's a peach of a new moon in Sagittarius. We also have the ruler of that new moon. Oh, there's the moon again. The ruler of that new moon, Jupiter, stationing direct in Pisces. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be very nice. Okay. What do we need to know about this? This is speaking of Jupiter. So we're starting with temperance energy, where we have this balance going on. And this is my slow cooker crock pot card. This is something that may take a little bit of time to come into balance, or that has taken lots of time to come into balance until now. So this could be part of the ongoing process, but this can also be when things actually, when it all measures up and you've got the right balance, when you have the right things and the right things. So let's be very spiritually peaceful. Oh, so we have the Page of Swords and the King of Cups. I'm gonna wait to open that up. I'm gonna wait on that one. Hello, welcome. I'm gonna wait to open that up. I want to make sure before I speak on that. Get another energy. This where you can. Come on, man. Okay. That's more. Oh, Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. I love this energy. This is so great for working with other people. It's really great for any kind of collaboration energy. So there could even be some kind of opportunity to collaborate, an opportunity to be paid for some kind of project, an opportunity, or you might even be starting this. You might be starting your own business. You might be starting your own, you might bring on an accountant, or, you know, starting your own financial restructuring, or, you know, something like that. So that's cool. You can also start work on something that's going to be very valuable or could increase in value. We'll stop there. We've got the Page of Cups and the Two of Wands. So again, reiterating partnership, companionship, working together, collaborating. This could be something far away though. There could be something changing with distance, and there could be something changing with distance. There's something kind of emotional about it, something very, maybe like exciting. Oh, another ace, Ace of Wands, bottom of the deck, the Lovers, even more emphasis, and the Seven of Wands. That's so funny. The Seven of Wands, this is interesting. Okay, here's what's interesting. Overall, sorry, it's just, it's no matter what I do, it's like I always have a crowded desk. Well, Natalie, it's because you have a box of pens and you have 4 drinks and you have calendars, and so I shouldn't, but okay. So overall, this looks like fighting for a partnership. This looks like some kind of advocating for a person or a partnership, or advocating for something that's very, like, advocating for a passionate relationship, or advocating for a great partnership, or maybe even, I could see this really as like defending the person you're with against your racist or ageist or misogynistic or misandristic. Misandry is the opposite of misogyny, and I don't know what the comparative misandric, I don't know. But, you know, it could be like, you know, overcoming some kind of prejudice or anything. It can be a prejudice, doesn't have to be a prejudice, but like that Seven of Wands is like, this is my spot and I'm not moving. Like I'm defending it. Like this is my spot, you know, but it's like the relationship stuff. So this is someone maybe advocating for somebody else or advocating on somebody else's behalf. That could even be some kind of like agent or representative, you know, maybe you are a union rep and you have a client that is being discriminated against at work and you have to go represent them and it's like a whole thing, or you're anything like that, anything where you are someone's advocating for this or this choice. You know, you maybe you're casting something and you're like, this is my choice. You're the director and like, this is my choice. I want this person. And, you know, maybe other people don't see it. Other people don't see like your vision and you have to explain it, do a fucking PowerPoint. I don't know, but you're like, no, this is it. Trust me. This is it. It's this. Okay. Let me just go over here, grab the clarifier deck, and we shall open this up even more for you. Hello. Hello. Okay, let's open up this temperance energy. What is coming into balance this week? It's very, it is peaceful. 9 of Cups. There could actually be some kind of wish coming true or some kind of really happy development. Something is bringing you a lot of emotional peace or emotional security, you know, something's going to bring you to quite an emotional balance. Very relieving. Tell me about the King of Cups and the Page of Swords. That's interesting. I'll take all of it. This seems to be a little bit of a lot, but let's just go with it. So 4 of Pentacles is a 9 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. So remember how I said, I'm going to wait on this one. I'm going to wait to... Sorry, let's wait like this. There's a bunny. It's the moon. So how I was saying that I'm going to wait till we clarify this before I speak on it. Now we have, and here we are. So this is, there's someone has very hard feelings of, okay, this feels like someone is taking something extremely personally this week and they really shouldn't. This is someone with an unhealthy ego and an unhealthy ego attachment. They're taking something personally because they're really only looking at their own ego. They're not really looking at maybe what's best for the situation or what brings something into balance, or they might not even care about balance. They might have a totally corrupted view of what that even means. So it looks like there's some difficult communication that this person is receiving, this King of Wands. They don't have to be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. They can be, they don't have to be. This is just a masculine energy. So your masculine energy could feel defeated, or someone's masculine energy this week could just feel like kind of defeated, or, you know, not really represented all the way or corrected or validated, that kind of a thing. So, you know, this King of Cups with the Page of Swords is some kind of communication that, here's the thing, the Page of Swords is the test of integrity. So if you cannot be honest and forthright with someone because you know they're going to overreact, you might want to think, oh, I just don't want to tell them. I don't want to talk to them about this. So that in itself is a test of integrity. It's the other side test of integrity to take news and to take information in a mature fashion and to be responsible and to be, you know what I'm saying? So it's like someone on one side honors that test of integrity and they're honest and they're upfront. I was gonna say upfront and upright at the same time. You know, someone's very upfront and honest and direct and forthright, and they're passing their test of integrity. It's whoever's receiving the information. They're feeling lack, they're scared, they're desperate, they're anxious, they're nervous, they may have trouble sleeping, they may not be getting good sleep, they're feeling like their position is threatened or their money is threatened. They're feeling some kind of threat, but it's very imaginary. It's very much in their head. So that's their problem. It's not yours. What's this Ace of Pentacles and the 3 of Pentacles, please? The moon has also entered Leo since we began our reading. It's the sun! You guys, I just out of... see how that goes. You see how that goes? I was like, I just felt like talking about, I just felt like telling you guys, hey, Moon entered Leo a little bit ago. And look, we pulled the Sun card. I love the synchronicities. So the Sun, to clarify all this is such good news. This is like a raise, a promotion. You're starting your own business. You're scaling your business. You're growing your business. Your business is making a good deal with somebody else's business. You know, it's like good business. Good business, happiness, joy. You love who you're working with. You love what you're doing. You love everything about it. Especially if you're a business owner, you love who you're collaborating with. You love like the project. You're so excited. You wake up, can't wait to get up out of bed every morning. Can't wait to go to sleep, to wake up again. You know, just really vitality, virility, very much like getting up and going and just really soaking up the experience. Also, there could be an increase in pay, an increase in compensation, or there could be an approval of the budget for some kind of project or something. Let's take a look at this Page of Cups and this Two of Wands. Thank you. We have, oh, another two, the Two of Swords. Okay, so there could feel, oh my gosh, and I have to take it because it's here. The bottom of the deck is the another Two of Wands. So there's some kind of stalemate or some kind of blockage in, there's some kind of difficulty with someone far away, or that distance might be the actual difficulty itself. So you'll have to know what resonates more with your situation, but it looks like there's some kind of, now there's going to be news about this with the Page of Cups. So if there has been a difficulty because of distance or because of being far away or somebody else being far away, you know, it's like maybe you find the perfect candidate, but they live in fucking boo-foo nowhere, and you're like, oh man, you know, it's like maybe they're able to work from home and they're able to work off of Zoom, and so it's like it gets fixed, or that hurdle of that distance gets overcome somehow. So there's going to be some good news about that. It looks very exciting. Like that Page of Cups is like very, you know, childlike in their wonder and in their joy, and then it's just very reactive. So, you know, it looks like good news with that stalemate being broken. There's some kind of solution that you come to. There's something that you're able to see, or there's some new information that comes in, maybe even an offer of some kind, or like an apology, or just like a very sweet, like authentically conveyed sentiment. You know, there's like a very sweet sentiment about it. It's very sweet and honest and kind and almost like kind of bashful, you know? So, okay, let's get your Divine Feather. Oh, I put this here so that I could actually reach for it and not get up for it. Okay, let's take a look at the Divine Feather. What is your guidance for this? Thank you. Bottom of the deck, the Magpie. Reevaluate your priorities. It is time to let go of what you no longer need. I can totally see this tarot being like, you switch out, like maybe you let go of one person to hire a different person, or you demote someone to promote someone, or you just maybe take some space from one of your friends to work on your business, or you may pull away from one of your businesses to put more energy into a different business, or something new that comes, you know. I feel like it could be something like that. Like you're just, everyone's priorities are getting reshuffled. And then you have two poppers. You have the Huron. Let go of convention and follow your own unique path. I always love that energy. Absolutely. Let go of convention, follow your own unique path. And then the Crow. Universal laws and truths are now being revealed. Use this energy to create your reality. So there could be something new that breaks through on that Mars square Neptune. You could become spiritualized. You could have a psychic experience. There could be something that teaches you more about the real reality of life that pleases you. You know, maybe you didn't believe in God, and something happens where you consider believing in God, or you don't believe in anything. You don't believe in life after death, and you have an experience that makes you question that belief, or, you know, something. There could be, fate could put someone or some situation or something in your life's path to prompt this happening. Okay. I love you guys. Have a beautiful Monday. Have a beautiful week ahead. I will check in on your energies next time, my dearies. So until then, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darling. Mwah.